So in reality, when I thinking about all the stuff that I reflect upon or I think about, is that the main issues that I see all the time is that people tend to overblow in everything or exaggerate everything for drama factor or just because the anxiety, the way they see, they feel about things. And I always say, listen, I learned a long time ago with wine that there is no urgency. There is no the last bottle on the planet. There's plenty. It's just a question of what is your desire and what we can do to enjoy. There's a lot of similarity into many wines, as there's a lot of similarity in many peoples. And you hear that phrase that we have a lot in common that actually we have against, and it's true. It's absolutely true. Unfortunately, sometimes what we don't have in common is what really matters to us, and that makes things a little more exasperating. But realistically, if when we take things down to a level of understanding and humanity, we'll see that there are solutions. Wines, people come to me a lot of times and says, I talk about this great Bordeaux or this great Burgundy and costs so much money. Why would I drink that? What? It's like, listen, you don't have to. It's not the price of the wine that you should be interested in. You should be interested into the variety and the characteristic of the wine. That's why, Bordeaux is a region. And you don't have just Lafite or Latour in Bordeaux. You have many, many wines that don't cost $100, $300. Bordeaux cost $15, $20, $30. There's nothing wrong with the Bordeaux. Because eventually you want to enjoy a wine that comes from that area so that you understand and enjoy and appreciate or not the characteristic of that particular winemaking style as well as that particular terroir or area of the world where certain people do certain things in a certain ways. And so the price has a relevance only when we're going to after certain specific things. But if we just want to talk about great wines and we talk about a region, there is plenty alternatives, there's plenty choice. That's the reflections. You have to be smart about how you go about things or how you go after certain things and the level of understanding and education, not to be boring or to be patronizing. It is very important. And it's the same thing like I was explaining the other day. If I want to learn how to play tennis, I have two options. Either I go on the court and I start hit the ball all over the place, or I just take it serious and say, you know what is a good coach around here that give me a great understanding of the basics, the rules, and as well as the technique that even though I'm not going to go to the Wimbledon, but I still can have a good game because I appreciated the process. I have learned certain things so that I don't just question my behavior or my techniques. I can improve them, but not question it. And because if you don't do that, then you don't have no clue what you're doing. You just hit the ball someplace and hopefully something good happens, correct? So wine is the same. Food is the same. The good thing about food and wine is that they are practical things. You can make a nice little salad with a little dressing, just a little lemon, olive oil, maybe you sprinkle a few pieces of fruit on it, whether it be berry or it would be pomegranate or whatever. But you can make a good salad. You don't have to be a 5-star restaurant to have a good salad. And on the same token, you don't have to spend $1,000 to get a good bottle of wine. It's question of metrics. What is that you try to do and how you want to go do about it. And so my reflection is by talking with many people online all over the place and in a wine event, it's that people find themselves vulnerable to express an opinion because they don't want to be judged. And that's really the opposite what should be happening. You want to be judged, but not in a negative way, but in a positive way. In other words, constructive judgment or constructive criticism is a good thing because it enhances the experience by pointing out something that you may be not aware about. Obviously, you don't want to be rude. Obviously, you don't want to be a jerk. But if nobody ever going to tell you that Nebbiolo it's the base of Barolo, and you keep on saying, well, I don't really like Sangiovese, but you're drinking a Barolo. So someone is going to look around and say, what is he talking about? What's she talking about? Are we talking about the same thing here? Or, my favorite wine is Cabernet. Okay, I get it. But we're not drinking it. So what are we to do? It's just to open a bottle of Cabernet and get over with it? No, of course. The idea is always the same. We have to be positive in our way we're looking at things and not take everything personally in a way which is challenging who we are. It's got nothing to do with it. I always tell my customers all the time, I tell a collector all the time, the wine you chose, it was representative of the moment in time when you did the choosing. It doesn't represent the whole body of your life or the whole body of your work in terms of collecting. We all, at one point in time, go through certain love affair, where we fall in love with something that is particularly interesting, and all of a sudden, 5 years, 2 years, a year later, you're saying, yeah, it's okay. I like it. But now I want something else. That's all right. That's beautiful. That's where we're supposed to be. After all, we're always on a voyage. We're always on some kind of a trip on our own, which is good. It's what makes us interesting, what makes us excitable. So my reflection for you for the day is that embrace your vulnerability and celebrate the fact that there is things you don't know. It's a good thing. That means you have room for growing. It's like walking in your cellar and you realize, hey, I got all this beautiful Cabernet, but I don't have any Burgundy. Well, that's a good thing. That means you can now buy some Burgundy. You know what I mean? Or you've been drinking with your friend and you never really had a champagne, and finally you find the champagne you really like. So, you know what? I never liked the champagne. Good. Now you like one champagne. Start drinking it. So that you allow your palate to develop a sense of appreciation and commonality and a familiarity that eventually it gives you a better understanding what this particular type of wine is all about. It's not the answer to why we are hurt. It's not the answer why life is what it is. It's just an answer why you didn't like it before, because you didn't find the one who really pull you in, right? That is the reflections that one of us or all of us should have when we approach wine buying, wine drinking, to understand that the fact that we don't know something isn't impeding us to do the right thing or to do something. Is that you just don't know something. That's why you ask a question. Hey, what is this thing called Barbera? What is about Burgundy people like? Well, you don't want to look kind of like, oh my God, you don't know anything about Burgundy. This guy's so stupid. It's like, okay, so what? I don't care. I don't know anything about catalytic converter. I mean, I heard about it, but I don't care. That's why I go to a mechanic. I'm not embarrassed. Are you? I don't think so. You know anything about space traveling and all the tools that I see it one time in a plane and I'm confused. Just 20,000 buttons for what? I don't know. And then the guy next to me goes like, oh yeah, now you can do all on iPad. Well, yeah, do what though? Because it doesn't matter whether it's a button or it's an iPad. I still don't know what the functions are, and that's the point. Now, I can learn it, right? I can learn it. Maybe not. But at the moment, I'm the ignorant one in the airplane, and thank God for that, because somebody knows something so we can fly. But never worry about it. You see, the point is, you don't have to know everything. You have to know exactly what you don't know to know something, because you can ask the right questions. And when the question is asked, don't be shy. Be participant. Be aware. Be there. Be present. Because the only way you can learn, the way you can enjoy is to share. And so the reflection for you and for today is be happy. Relax. Find the joy in everything you do every day, whether it's small or large. And for all the doom and gloom out there, believe me, Corona will go. The election will pass. And we'll find something else to whine and dine and complain about. In the meantime, though, turn around. Be present. Love the people around you. hug and kiss the people next to you and tell them, I understand. Even sometimes when I don't say it, I understand. And I'm there for you. And don't miss the opportunity to enjoy the things that you don't know, because that is the exploratory of life. This is where the beauty comes alive, because you discover something. Remember when you were a kid, everything was amazing. A butterfly was amazing. A pinball was amazing. Now we know everything and we don't know nothing, and everything is a bore and it's heavy, it's crazy. No. Find the inner child. This is Massimo from 102 One Country Cuisine. A big love. Ciao.